Well, I'd say South Africans, but I really mean you, are, I imagine, getting increasingly frustrated with Eskom, if that's the right word. We're in load shedding stage 4 at the moment. A lot of pressure that Eskom is under at the moment to sort things out. Some warnings that, unfortunately, this could all take a little while before we get a lot more generation capacity for the grid. Last night, you would have seen that big briefing with the Public Enterprises Minister Pravin Gordhan and the CEO of Eskom, Andre de Ruyter. Tonight, we understand that the Energy Minister, Gwede Mantashe, is now going to make a big announcement. Chris Yelland, you know him. You know when Chris Yelland's on the radio, there's load shedding. Chris, I'm sorry to introduce you like that. You're the energy expert. I do appreciate the time at EE Publishers. Chris, I mean, firstly, I don't know if we've seen a situation like this with Eskom under this much pressure just before an election, which maybe complicates everything.
Certainly does, and it's become highly politicized because load shedding just before an election or even during election will have very serious political consequences and also consequences on the democratic process in South Africa, which we all nurture. So a lot is being done, a lot of pressure building up, and a lot of actual work has been done, I believe, by Eskom to ensure that there will be no load shedding, or shall we rather say that the probability of load shedding will be exceptionally low. We have learned that you can never say never. The last time this kind of pressure was there was when the president was recalled from Cairo for an African Union meeting, and stage 6 load shedding occurred in South Africa, and he assured South Africa there would be no load shedding over the Christmas period because demand was very low, and that finally resulted, when it did happen, in the resignation of the chairman of Eskom, Mr. Jabba Mabuza. So, yeah, never say never, but the probability is indeed low, I guess.
So within all of this, okay, we had this quite strange situation last night where the minister said that, and I think he said that he was getting the information from Eskom, that they would be able to, well, let me start at the very beginning. Yesterday, Eskom said there would be stage 4 load shedding until Friday morning, and then things would move to stage 2. Then last night, suddenly, we had this announcement from Pravin Gordhan, the minister, saying, no, load shedding stage 4 would be reduced to stage 3 by this morning. And that didn't happen. And my question really is, what would have changed technically between when Eskom first said 2 days of stage 4 load shedding and the minister said just 1 day? And the answer can't be a technical answer. Can't be a technical reason that he said that.
Well, look, nobody can tell the future. And anybody who says we will have stage 3 load shedding at this time tomorrow, people cannot say that with any complete certainty, because it depends on whether another or more than one generator unit trips out again. And it also depends on whether one or more generators are able to be brought back onto the grid. And these things are very uncertain. It depends on how long work is taking, whether problems are found, whether spares are available, etc., etc. So I just think people should avoid the temptation to try and make things sound good by making promises that they can't necessarily meet, and if they're not met, it makes them look a little foolish. So best to make sure people understand that there is no certainty in these things. It is a case of probability or likelihood.
So one person who's been quiet up until this point is the actual Minister of Energy, and I should mention Mineral Resources himself, Gwede Mantashe. We know that he's going to speak tonight at 7 o'clock for the first time since all of this started. Eskom does come under, of course, the Public Enterprises Ministry, but still he is the Energy Minister. And, I mean, it's not leaked. It's pretty clear that this is going to be about bid window 5 for the renewable power procurement program.
Yes, and wouldn't it be nice to hear Minister Mantashe say how significant, the bid window 5 of the renewable energy IPP program is, and how this procurement could make a major difference. This procurement of renewable energy, which can be delivered relatively quickly, can make a major difference to load shedding in South Africa, as it is already doing with the existing renewable energy that is connected to the grid at this time. So we look forward to hearing what he says. It looks like it's going to be an announcement of the preferred bidders of bid window 5. And there is some other possibilities that I look forward to listening to closely, and that is, will he perhaps announce a doubling up of bid window 5? In other words, not just procure the 2,600 megawatts that was scheduled for bid window 5, but to double up on that and make it 5,200 megawatts instead of 2,600 megawatts, because these bid windows are likely to be heavily oversubscribed, coming in at prices that probably cannot be met again in the near future, because bid window 6, which is the next bid window, is likely to come in at prices higher, because globally there has been a significant price increase in the cost of shipping and raw materials that go in to make solar PV panels and wind turbines, and the shipping of these components. All of this has gone up significantly, and therefore the bids that they have received under bid window 5 could be the lowest that we're likely to see for some time. So this is a wonderful opportunity in light of the fact that the risk mitigation IPP program seems to have been stalled, and there's no end in sight to that stalling. This would be a fantastic opportunity for the minister to be bold.
Do you think that'll happen? I mean, is there any reason to think that it will? I mean, just this week he was speaking at the National Union of Mine Workers Conference, seemed to be hinting once again, his support for coal.
Well, I think watch this space. I think there's going to be some very interesting announcements in the next few days around renewable energy, around the just transition, the financing thereof. So I say, let's keep our eyes open. There has been certainly some talk about increasing the size of the capacity procured under bid window 5. There's also been some talk about bid window 6, where they will increase the size of the projects. At the moment, solar PV projects, for some absurd and unknown reason, are limited in size. I think it's to 75 megawatts per project. There is absolutely no technical reason for this, and there's every reason to go for much bigger solar PV projects, like 200 megawatts per project. That's what's happening globally, and it gives you more competitive pricing. So there's some talk about raising the size of the projects in bid window 6, both the solar PV projects, which have a cap on the size at the moment, as well as wind farm projects, which also have a cap, both of which could easily be doubled, and this would produce increase in capacity procured, and also make the prices more competitive.
And then, Chris, I mean, just to talk about what we're talking about, if what you're suggesting should happen, does happen, as I understand it, once plans are passed, you can have renewable energy producing electricity in about 18 months, call it 2 years. On scale, that would mean the end of load shedding in about, let's call it 2.5 years. On Eskom's current projections, it's going to take a lot longer than that without new renewable energy.
Absolutely. These IPP procurement programs are a way to deliver electricity relatively quickly compared to the other technology options like gas and nuclear and new coal. We're talking about a completely different time frame. And what we need to do at the moment is to overbuild on the renewables to give us excess energy that can be used to recharge the pumped water storage schemes, and to avoid the need to use open cycle gas turbine emergency reserves. We have significant energy storage capacity in South Africa, about 3,000 megawatts through our existing pump storage schemes, which at the moment are being used in the wrong way. And in order to use them in the right way, we need excess energy capacity, and we don't have that at the moment. If we overbuild on renewables, we can use the excess energy, which comes in very cheaply, to recharge the pumped water storage schemes and enable them to be used as they were intended, as peaking plants to meet short-term evening peaks, not to run for extended periods of time where effectively the top dam empties and you have to spend days recharging the top dam.
Chris Yelland, do appreciate the time. Thank you very much indeed. Well, we'll find out 7 o'clock tonight. The Minister of Energy speaking then. In a moment.